This video will guide you through the installation process for the RockShox TwistLoc remote. For more information and a complete list of tools and supplies necessary, go to www.sram.com/service to find the RockShox TwistLoc and OneLock remotes user manual. TwistLoc comes with a curved cable guide installed to work with SRAM brakes. Non-SRAM brakes may need a straight cable guide to avoid interference with the master cylinder. To switch from the curved cable guide to the straight cable guide, remove the cable guide bolt and slide the curved guide off of the cable or cables. Thread the cable or cables through the straight guide and slide it to the remote. Install the cable guide bolt. The TwistLoc remote is designed for use with 22.2 mm diameter handlebars. Apply friction paste to the inner diameter of the TwistLoc remote when installing on carbon fiber handlebars. Failure to do so may lead to the remote slipping, which may cause the rider to crash, resulting in serious injury or death. Slide the remote onto the handlebar. Loosen the grip bolt, apply friction paste, then slide the grip into place. Adjust the remote to the desired angle. Tighten the bolt on the top of the TwistLoc. Do not adjust the set screw on the bottom of the remote. Install the end cap plug. Tighten the handlebar grip bolt until it doesn't move, up to 3 Nm. Do not over-tighten the bolts. The TwistLoc remote is intended to move on the handlebar in the event of a crash or excessive rotational force. The remote should be installed with the cable housing properly routed and secured to the bicycle. For rear shocks, depressurize and compress the shock to make sure the cable does not pull on the shock. To determine where to cut the housing for a shock, hold the housing up to the remote with a link that creates a gentle bend in the housing and allows the handlebar to freely turn from side to side. Mark the cut location and use SRAM cable housing cutters to make the cut. Use the awl on the cable cutters to round out the housing end. The procedure for cable attachment is similar across RockShox forks. Refer to the RockShox TwistLoc and OneLock remotes user manual for instructions specific to your fork. Make sure the remote is in the unlocked position by pressing the release button. For this fork with a Charger 2 damper, insert the shorter inner cable into the cable housing. Insert the cable housing into the counter bore on the remote until it is fully seated. Install a ferrule onto the end of the cable housing for the damper. Use a 2 mm hex wrench to loosen the cable set screw and thread the cable through the spool. Set the ferrule into the cable stop at the damper. Failure to seat the cable housing will result in the remote not actuating the lockout. Pull the cable taut, then tighten the bolt. Cut the cable to length. Install the end cap. Then use SRAM cable cutters to crimp the end cap. The procedure for cable attachment is similar across all forks. Refer to the RockShox TwistLoc and OneLock remotes user manual for instructions specific to your shock. Make sure the remote is in the unlocked position by pressing the release button. For this deluxe shock, loosen the ferrule bolt, then remove the threaded ferrule. Thread the threaded ferrule onto the housing. Do not push the housing into the threaded ferrule. Insert the longer outer cable into the cable housing. Insert the cable housing into the counter bore on the remote until it is fully seated. Remove the spool cap. Loosen the cable set screw. Thread the cable through the spool. Install the threaded ferrule, then tighten the ferrule bolt. Pull the cable taut and hold, then tighten the bolt. Cut the cable to length. Then, install the cable end cap. Tuck the extra cable inside the pocket. Reinflate the shock. The cable spool will rotate with the spool cap when tightening. Continue to rotate the spool cap clockwise until it stops, then tighten. Rotate the remote toward the rear of the bicycle to lock the fork and/or shock. Press the release button to unlock the fork and/or shock. If you primarily ride in a dry climate, you may choose to remove the remote cable cover to utilize the internal lock symbol as an indicator of whether your suspension is locked or unlocked. This concludes the installation procedure for the RockShox TwistLoc remote. Remember to refer to the user manual at www.sram.com/service for complete information for your specific setup.